everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Fairy Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Cypria Reed Daisy, who has recently celebrated the birthday of Lady Bren. Now an adult, Bren's approaching life with more freedom and untangling herself from the responsibility she feels towards Lady Katerina. She knows fate is leading them in different directions and has made peace with the fact that while their feelings might linger, the expectations of each other should not. We are picking up at 6 a.m. on Saturday, and this time around we want to delve more into the thoughts of our older fairies. Now, we had Bren's birthday in the last episode. There has been a few changes with her relationship to Katerina. It was kind of simmering, I think, or I should say simmering down for a while, but they only really addressed the change that has been happening between them in the last episode. And then of course we found out about a few other issues pertaining to Lynette's friendships, particularly with Titania, and then we found out that Titania and Vivian's sisterhood, that's pretty much completely destroyed at this point. So I'm curious, what do the adults think about everything that has been happening? And one of you lovelies made a very interesting point. I think it was Icicle Moon who was saying that it's funny how with the different queens, their personalities in a way are reflecting the relationships in their generation of the court. So Justin was fairly stable and peaceful, and her court members had good relations with each other. Cypria has been largely peaceful and she's been calm, and her court members in her generation have a decent friendship with each other. The biggest thing that has happened obviously is the jealousy of the Summer Council, but even then, it's not something that is destroying their relations with one another. Whereas Lynette is kind of turbulent, and then you see that in her generation, everything is an absolute mess. The girls in her generation do not have good relationships. It's kind of all over the place. But okay, Queen Cypria, she wants to be friendly with Dame Vivian. So what is her relationship with everyone actually? She has 100 friendship with Vivian and a good compatibility, compared to Lynette, who she has a bad compatibility with and 78 friendship. Which means at this point, she does not necessarily blame Vivian for that relationship falling apart. She just thinks that her eldest daughter, Lynette, is incapable of maintaining friendships and relations. That is so sad, but I'm glad that at least Vivian is not going to kind of feel the brunt of everything that's been happening. But let's discuss interests with Vivian. Hopefully the interaction takes. Yes, so thank goodness. I've been noticing that sometimes our simmies recently have been a little bit odd. Yeah, the queen's talking with Vivian. She probably sees Vivian as someone who is making the best of her situation, someone who has had to give up her friendship with Uther for the greater good, and she has pretty much done that to the best of her capacity. And I don't think Cypria holds anything against her, which is kind of nice, for Vivian at least. Lady Brent, meanwhile, wants to admire art, so we are going to send her up to the gallery. Let's go ahead and admire maybe the newest bit of art that Bren made. It was of Lynette and Sycorax. This would be a great time for her to kind of take a look at this and remind herself that, oh, my family is doing pretty good. Even though Lynette has a inconsistent sort of personality, at least Sycorax knows how to manage that. Yes, they get upset at each other, but Sycorax knows how to bounce back from it. Okay, and then Katerina. Katerina wants to discuss favorite recipes, so let's see who she's going to do that with. See, look at this. Sycorax and Lynette are always hanging out with each other. Always. And then literally we always have Titania and Katerina. But who does she want to discuss favorite recipes with from the household? Okay, She has a 95 friendship with Jadis, a 46 with Tinka, 100 with Titania, 100 with Sycorax, 100 with Brant, 100 with Bren, 100 with Supriya, 100 with Vivian, 100 with Kayla, and 57 with Lynette. So out of the hundreds, she has an amazing compatibility with Sycorax. She has an amazing with Bren. She has an amazing with Supriya. She has good compatibility with Vivian. And she has good compatibility with Kayla. So between Supriya, Bren, and Sycorax, if we look at the social hierarchy in terms of age, it would be Supriya. So she's gonna go to forget about age for now. Social hierarchy in terms of the time at which they entered court, it would be Supriya. So she's gonna go to the queen and she's gonna discuss favorite recipes with the queen. So let's go ahead and do that. I think that would be under interests. Yes, discuss favorite recipes. And obviously this would be pertaining to the youngsters. And I think Katerina would have noticed that the queen spoke to her daughter Vivian and wasn't really blaming her for everything between the youngsters, and she was very appreciative of it. So she kind of wants to talk about maybe the memories of when things were good between them, and say that probably as adults they shouldn't get too involved with that mess, because once the new queen comes into power, she'll have to kind of manage it on her own. The adults won't be there. Wait, what? Vivian and Titania are getting into a fight? They are getting into a fight. Oh my goodness. Lynette, what have you done to this family? What have you done to them? We have never seen the fairies ever fall into a fight of any sort. This is the first fight ever, and Vivian beat Titania. Oh my goodness. This is so bad. This is so terrible. Even if these two sisters end up being in the same court, they will probably kill each other. Like, what is going on? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Katerina, yeah. You're saying not to get involved, but do you really want to stay uninvolved? Like, really? Your family's falling apart. Okay, with Lady Bren, who has been basically doing yoga this whole time, she wants to tell a joke. Who is she gonna tell a joke to? She has a 14 friendship with Tinka, a 99 with Titania, a 35 with Lynette, 100 with Kayla, an 11 with Brant, 100 with Katerina, 100 with Vivian, 100 with Jadis, 52 with Sycorax, and 100 with Supriya. So out of the hundreds, she has an amazing compatibility with Katerina and good with Jadis. So still she's going to Katerina and she's going to be joking with her. However, I kind of like the fact that recently her interactions with Katerina have become more kind of joking than romantic. We'll goof around a little bit. But I think this is maybe her way of trying to smooth things out with them. It's like they're transitioning into an... Jeez Louise. I guess Katerina had to be reset as well. But it's like they're transitioning into a new phase of their relationship with one another. So she's kind of being goofy about it. No, not friendly. Not friendly. She's being goofy about it rather than being overly serious, because that might make things awkward. Can we hold on, instantly fly here. Right, and then can we please goof around a little bit? Come on, let's goof around. Don't worry about the others. Bren, don't worry about the others. Just goof around. I don't know who this is. We're gonna delete her. Go away, please. Go away. Did you guys joke with each other? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? I know all of these sword fights are like stealing your attention. Are you kidding me? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. Where is she? I am so sorry. This is ridiculous. This should not be happening. Bren. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard? Can we just goof around with Katarina? Stop tiptoeing around each other and missing each other. You know what? It could also be the fact. We're gonna turn this glitchiness into a story prompt. It could also be the case that while they have accepted the new status of their relationship, sometimes they are still unsure about how to act around each other. So they kind of miss the opportunities to speak. Before they used to stop all the time and they were gravitating towards one another, but now it's like, wait, no, we're not like that anymore, so I guess we'll talk later. It's them trying not to be awkward sometimes is making it more awkward than usual. Okay, we're gonna complete that. And then Kayla wants to enthuse about outdoors. Okay, with who? With who, Kayla? She has a 0 friendship with Jadis, a 96 with Supriya, a 98 with Brent, a 31 with Titania, 100 with Bren, 100 with Tinka, 100 with Katarina, a 12 with Lynette, a 22 with Sycorax, and 100 with Vivian. And out of the ones she has 100 with, she has the good compatibility with Katarina. So she too is going to be gravitating towards Katarina. And just like to ensure that nothing really go wrong, I'm just going to reset them before I get her to go to Katarina. It was enthused about outdoors, right? Yes. Enthused about outdoors. Not here? Wait, hobbies maybe? I don't see outdoors. Where are the outdoors? Where is it? Small talk maybe? Where is the outdoors? I don't... Okay. What about fine cuisine? Sorry, with Katarina. Would that be under interests? No. Hobbies? No. Oh, come on. Sometimes, I swear, I feel like maybe the game gives them whims that they can't actually affect. They can't do these whims. Let's see if we can find some other whims for her to do. Bring a gnome to life. Okay, fine. She's gonna bring a gnome to life. I thought she was gonna interact with Katarina, but apparently not. She's not gonna interact with Katarina. I think she wanted to go talk to Katarina about something, but she decided in the end that she's gonna back off from that, and instead she is going to set the gnomes on the garden. So let's, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's collect some of this fairy dust. We'll get 5 of the fairy dust, and we're gonna get a gnome. We're gonna kidnap a gnome from the queen's quarters, because for some reason they gravitate in the queen's quarters. They're like obsessed with the queen's quarters. And we are going to plop them down here. I really like this purple one. And we're gonna bring it to life with fairy dust. So Kayla, let's go do that. And she has purple on right now with some yellow. She kind of matches, even with the brown, she like matches. And white, she matches that gnome. That gnome is literally her gnome right now. Okay, Nomeo, are you like helping out with the garden? Yes. One of my plants was like drying out real bad. So that's good. Yeah, Kayla just focusing in more like practical things, like on more practical things. Which is fair and fine. It is completely fair and fine. Vivian has ranked up with her fairy powers. She is now a glowing fairy, so I thought I'd jump in and update you guys on her abilities. I have gone ahead and given her nurture nature enchant plant. And she has, in terms of customization, warm foreskin and malicious absorber. Just because she actually, even though had, yes, red relationships and green relationships, she had more green than red. So she ended up getting the malicious absorber doesn't make sense with my positive and negative columns, but that's okay. Ignore that. We have a left column and a right column. She ended up getting these two. So even though life has been turbulent, and I think we've seen this with her relationship with Supriya, she has somehow managed to still stay on the good side of a majority of the fairies, which is great for her. Titania has also ranked up to a glowing fairy, so we're messing around with her abilities as well. I've given her Manifest Seed and Forage a Fairy in Duplicate Harvestable, so that she has something a little bit different from her twin sister. And then she also has Warm Foreskin and Malicious Absorber. I did take a look at her relationships, just like Vivian. Even though she has some like maxed out reds, she has way more greens than red. So I ended up giving her something in the left column over here. And that is all for Titania. We are picking up at 1 a.m. on Sunday, and this time around we're going to be having a go at the whims for our youngsters. And guys, we have some very interesting stuff lined up. So first up, we are with Sycorax, and really quickly, since she's chatting to Lynette, I want to check up on her relationship. And their relationship is at 31. It fluctuates a lot, I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure the day before it was like really high, they were actually good friends, and now they're down to acquaintances. So I think their relationship and their friendship is quite explosive. It goes back and forth quite a lot. Doesn't have a ton of stability, but at least it means Sycorax finds some way to stay by Lynette's side and continue basically giving her the hard truths. But she wants to be friendly with Queen Supriya. So let's go find Supriya and let's express our admiration, even though in the past we have taken note that Sycorax, she doesn't really respect Supriya all that much. Where the heck is Supriya? Oh, she's in there. Yeah, I want to see. So she has a 37 with Lynette, and she has a 40 with Supriya. Okay, so right now she does actually kind of admire the way that Supriya has managed to basically have everyone on his side. Yeah. And Sycorax is grudgingly probably admitting to herself that there is a reason why everyone is not wanting to make an enemy out of Supriya. Not necessarily that they fear her or anything, but she's got a benevolent quality that kind of attracts them to her. So she didn't want to, I think she saw it as Supriya being very controlling and restrictive of Lynette when they were younger. But now that Sycorax herself is experiencing how back and forth her friendship is with Lynette, she's realizing that there is a sense of stability to Supriya that she should probably acknowledge. Tinka, meanwhile, she was the one with a bit of a spicy whim, guys, which caught me really off guard. But Tinka wants to flirt with Princess Lynette. So we know that both Tinka and Sycorax have a friendship with Lynette. Sycorax has been purely just like a friendly thing, right? But with Tinka, I don't know. She's wanting to flirt. This is dangerous though. This is very dangerous. But she's gonna go ahead. She's gonna flirt. And I don't even know if Tinka is fully aware of what she's doing. Maybe she's just being very, very sweet to Lynette and very nice to Lynette. I mean, she sees Lynette as someone who spends a lot of time with her sister, so obviously she's trusting her sister's judgment and thinking that, you know, Lynette is probably a good princess. She's someone worth being friends with, and she's trying to be friendly with her, but it's coming out a little bit flirtatious, and maybe she's crossing some lines that she doesn't realize she's crossing. since, you know, she hasn't had any sort of romantic experience, and to be honest, neither has Lynette. None of the youngsters have had any romantic experience. So it totally makes sense that as they're befriending each other, she wouldn't understand if things do start to develop in terms of feelings. Very fascinating. Okay, with Princess Jadis, Jadis also had something very, very intriguing that she wanted to do because she wanted to rile up Asim. So who the heck is she going to rile up in the main court? Whoever she has the least relationship with, which is going to be exciting because I feel like that's not as clear as who everyone has like a good relationship with. Okay, she has a 94 friendship with Katarina, a 14 with Brant, a 1 with Sycorax, 32 with Titania, 50 with Tinka, 33 with Vivian, 100 with Supriya, 17 with Lynette, 0 with Kayla, and 100 with Bren. She had 1 with Sycorax and 0 with Kayla. It is going to be Kayla. Okay, she is going to rile up Kayla. I wonder, what exactly is Jadis riling up Kayla with? I mean, Kayla hasn't really been at the forefront of any sort of major social change, but I'm kind of wondering if Jadis maybe is trying to figure out what's going on in Kayla's mind, because the last thing she kind of remembers about Kayla is Kayla not being happy with the summer council. Now it seems as though she's kind of given up on that, so Jadis is wanting to maybe poke and prod her to try and be like, have you really given up, or are you just incapable of getting what you want? Ay. Okay, let's bring it over to Kayla. Let's try and rile up. Can we... Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let's go to Kayla. Let's rile up. Come on, Jadis. Jadis. Why is it so hard, Jadis? She's right here. You're right here. Let's go. Let's rile up. Okay, do we have it under control? I mean, you have Katarina and Titania right over here. Okay, she did rile up. They have been kind of staying out of each other's way as well. But you know what? I feel like Jadis is the type of person who wouldn't... Like, knowing that Kayla is someone who has the same streak as her, she wouldn't want to leave Kayla unattended. Because it's almost like you haven't covered your back and you don't know what's going to hit you. So she wants to know what Kayla's goal is in the greater scheme of things, so that she can be aware of that and focus on her own ambitions without worrying about Kayla maybe turning around to bite her in the back, you know? I think that's what Jadis is doing. She doesn't know what's going on in Kayla's mind and she's trying to figure it out. Okay, Titania wants to chat with Queen Supriya, who she has an excellent relationship with. You gotta give props to Supriya. She has somehow maintained like a magnificent relationship with everyone. So Titania is going to maybe tell an unbelievable story. Yeah, I think Titania is gonna go and discuss with the queen. I think Titania has really mixed... I guess she just sent a letter to the queen. I mean, that's fine. Or a note. She sent a note to the queen. Maybe because she couldn't bring herself, she's hot-headed, she couldn't bring herself to actually say these words in person. But she, I think, has very conflicted feelings about her family and her sister. Deep down, she always wants what's best for her sister and will take her sister's side, but she's also resentful of what's become of them, and they've been hurting each other too much lately. I think she would thank the queen for believing in Vivian and for kind of not holding her accountable for something largely out of her control, especially because she made the best of what she could. But I think also she would kind of confess to the queen and express to her that her relationship with her sister has fallen completely apart, and keeping that in mind, she hopes the queen acknowledges the sacrifice that Titania and her family have made for Lynette. I think that's what she would do. which is very, very, I feel, deep, and I can appreciate that. And then finally, we have Vivian, who just wants to eat snacks. Okay, Vivian, let's get you some snacks, shall we? Let's see, what can we grab for you? Like, what's a quick meal we can grab for you? Let's see. Cold cuts? Let's get some cold cuts. Yeah, she's gonna go grab that. That's not something I have particularly seen before. What is this? I don't... Oh, is that like ham or something? I'm not entirely sure. But she's gonna have some cold cuts. That's fine. Yeah, Titania is definitely more observant and strategic when it comes to just stuff. Whereas Vivian, I think, tends to be a bit more aloof, and she likes, I think, carrying her heart on her sleeve and kind of just doing what she wants to do when she wants to do it. She's not as meticulous as her sister. But also, I feel like she's more carefree than her sister. She doesn't worry about a whole lot of things. So we'll go ahead, consider that complete. And there we go, guys. That's what's been happening in our very, very turbulent court. And with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.